Hello, folks. I am pleased to announce that this podcast is sponsored by a new book available now only on Amazon called Swept Up, The Lessons from the End Times by Matt Garnier. I'm going to read you a little bit of the book. I'm about 7 chapters in. It's, I believe, the story of Matt and where he's at now. Again, I haven't finished it, but so far it's great. It's weird how much Matt and I have in common. At least just from growing up perspective in the 90s in a Christian household. I relate very well. And Matt is an incredible writer, quite funny, and a good storyteller. I've just really enjoyed this book. So let me just read you a little section from chapter 5 that I thought was actually really enjoyed his play on words on things. So, I'll read this. I think this is a good idea. Get your whistles wet with this literary piece. And if, like I said, it's available on Amazon. I'll put the link in the show notes here for this episode. Against astronomical odds, I woke up on January 1st, 2000. I had watched the neon-lit radio clock until midnight, but knew better than to assume that my time zone was the one observed by God. 7 hours later, the biblical number of completion, after confirming that every region of the earth had passed the threshold, I celebrated along with the Howland Islanders on TV and enjoyed the best breakfast of my life. I felt reborn. As I munched on cinnamon rolls, I thought about how disappointed the false prophets must be. I pictured them inconsolable, heads buried in their hands to quiet murmurs of, "Shh, don't talk to Daddy, he's grieving." I digested the new reality that I officially couldn't trust any of them. These blue-balled Christians would have to figure out a world without a deadline, while I picked up where I had left off, a kid with a chance of a future. So yeah, again, available on Amazon only. Special thank you to Matt for sponsoring this podcast and this podcast episode. Like I said, 7 chapters in, and I'm really, really enjoying it. And I know you guys will as well. So go ahead and click the link. Purchase Swept Up on Amazon. Support Matt. Support this podcast. And Matt, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. Everyone, welcome back to another Timons Podcast. I'm your host, Timon. This is my podcast, the number 1 podcast in Goshen currently. Till another podcast arrives, then I'll be number 2. Maybe. No, I'll still be number 1. Guys, I got a great guest today. Let me get into some business first real quick. Make sure to go check out the YouTube and subscribe. It's Timons Podcast on YouTube. Secondly, I have an email address, Timonspodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to hit that up, especially if you want to sponsor an ad. I've had sponsors in the past. I'm always willing to have more sponsors. I thought that'd be good to get into there as well. And then Timons Podcast on Twitter, if you want to follow me on Twitter. That's about it. That's the business. Let's get to the show. Krys, welcome.
What's up, dude?
What's up? Can you move that mic just a tiny bit closer to you?
Tiny bit closer?
Yeah,
normally people are telling me to be quiet.
No, the nice thing about
a little bit different.
No, you're great, man. I want to hear all of you, dude. It's so good, bro. Welcome.
What's up?
What's up, dude? Thanks for coming. Thanks for making me this drink. It's delicious.
Dude, isn't that freaking awesome?
It's called what? Honey? No, bourbon.
Bourbon Crush.
Bourbon Crush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those TikTokers turned me onto these things.
Oh, he knows.
Awesome.
Yeah, he knows. This is delicious. Yeah, big fan. We like our beverages here on this Timons Podcast, and this is a delicious beverage. I will be incorporating it into my repertoire.
There you go.
Yeah, you can drink it with. You have really good bourbon too.
Got them in this really nice
the mason jar.
Mason jar with a handle on it.
Yeah, we're classy. We're
Wouldn't go that far, but yes.
Hey, most of my mason jars don't have handles. Oh, yeah. So I'm telling you.
No, but I brought some old Forester, some Prohibition style, 115.
Oh, man.
What is that? 115 proof, yeah.
That's the good stuff.
Dude, that is the good stuff. That is my favorite bourbon so far. So if anybody listening to the podcast has any other recommendations on bourbons or anything like that, favorite one I found, Old Forester, Prohibition style, 1920. So let us know in the comments if you guys know of any bourbons that you guys would really like me to try out.
Yeah, holler at us. We'll definitely buy them and try them.
All right.
Likely. Yeah. Dude, Krys, you shared a post on Facebook. It was a memory of us skiing. And dude, that was so good.
2016.
Long time ago. I still think about that. It's funny because you told me about how guys would get Little Caesars pizza and just smash that.
Oh, yeah.
Just, like ski all day.
Yeah.
And that's a memory that's like burned in my head.
Oh, is that?
Every time I go skiing, I'm like, man, I want some Little Caesars pizza.
Little Caesars pizza. But, I mean, well, it's because, me and my brother, we'd go snowboarding and stuff like that. And like, we were broke.
Yeah.
And it was like, lift tickets were like $36 for the day and stuff like that. You've already paid for all of your gear and stuff. And Bittersweet's what, an hour 15, 20 minutes away and stuff. So it's like, got to save money somehow. I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of money at the chalet or anything. Yeah. So like,
they're super expensive. It's like triple.
Oh, yeah.
Well, a burger's $15.
Right.
It's worth $5.
So that was one of the things that we did. We were just like, you know what? We're going to make $5 fresh, hot and ready freaking pizza, bring it with us. And just go back to the truck and smash. Yeah.
And you can go back and continue to eat that throughout it sustains you the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, you share that memory and you're like, dude, let's get on the podcast. I'm like, bro, I need to get you on the pod. Let's do it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I've seen you have some other people on here and stuff like that I knew. And I'm just like, I had no idea. Like you and I have known each other forever.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't even know that you had a podcast until I saw some of those pictures on social media. And I was like, bro, we have got to get on this together. So
here we are.
Yeah,
we made it.
Yes. So
I know my marketing aspect is not. I'm working on it. I'm putting in the reps.
I get you.
Getting it out.
I get you.
No, that's good.
I get you.
But yeah, no, the Facebook, post some pictures on Facebook seems to be doing the trick.
Is that
pushing it out,
growing the audience and whatnot?
Move to YouTube Shorts eventually too, so I'll be picking your brain on that as well.
Yes.
I got some thoughts, and so I'll have to see what you think about it. But anyways, enough about me. Let's talk about you.
What?
Who are you? Where are you from? How would people know you? Just give us the deets.
Man, in this area, people would probably know me. I was born in Arizona, but moved up here when I was just a baby. Raised here in Goshen, graduated from Concord High School. People know me from football, lacrosse, things like that. But primarily in this area, people probably know me because I'm one of the executives on Goshen Emerging Leaders. What used to be you and I and Joe Mel started the Goshen Young Professionals Group.
Right.
With
COVID hit.
Yeah, and then COVID hit and we had to stop it. But Ashley Jordan from Acts of Service over at the Elkhart Community Center, her and I actually started it back up again. Very and cool. Dude, we got this great event coming up next month.
Okay.
It's called The Amazing Race. Okay. Right, you remember the reality
the TV show?
Yeah. So that's what we're doing.
No way.
It's like you're doing that in groups from the chamber, and you're hitting up local downtown Goshen businesses, and it's a race. And you got to go down there. You got to solve a puzzle. You got to interact with the business owner.
Yeah.
Take a picture and post it on social media, and then you'll get the riddle for the next one. So you got to figure out the riddle and then race to the next one. You're going to hit like 4 or 5 different spots, and then we're going to end up at a secret location, and whoever gets there first wins, and will end up getting a $50 gift card from the Goshen Chamber.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super solid.
Yeah, and if there's 8 people in your group, like 8 people are going to win $50 a piece.
Oh, wow.
It's per person, not necessarily
just the group.
Oh,
that's cool.
So that's coming up. That's going to be April 13th.
Okay.
I believe.
Yep. Is that Saturday or something?
No, it's a second. We always hold our events on the second Thursday of every single month.
Okay.
And
that's probably a good way for people who want to get connected to like just the good downtown Goshen businesses, things like that.
Right. Well, and the other thing is like what we did with YP. Now, when we did Goshen YP, our networking events were we had like what, 75, 85 people in the
we
Constant Springs and stuff like that.
Constant Springs. We did the Goshen Brew.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So what we decided to do is we're still going to do the other things. There's mentoring, there's education, there's acts of service, volunteerism, and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to center it a lot around networking, because those are the events that people really want to go to. So it's going to go networking 1 month, and then we'll rotate between acts of service, mentoring, and education the next month, and then the following month is going to be networking right again.
Oh, okay.
So every other month is going to be networking with the other pillars mixed in.
Yeah,
so it's the second Thursday every single month from 5 to 7. Guys, if you're in the Goshen area and you're between the ages of 19 and 40,
nice.
Please join us. Come see what we're all about.
Yeah.
We had a great time at our last meeting. We went to the Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, cool.
And just hung out with them and all that kind of stuff. Is that
like the acts of service then?
Yeah, that was the acts of service that time. So,
awesome.
So this time we're doing the Amazing Race. And let me tell you, we've been working really hard on that one. I think that one's going to be one of our main events. Because what we're trying to do is I'm trying to set up like 3 main events through the season. Like a spring event, a summer event, and a fall event.
Yep.
And I think the Amazing Race is the one we're doing for spring. That one's going to be...
Got to do like a cookout or something for summer. I'm just throwing... Who knows? You guys got it. I see you. I see the look on your face. You know what you're...
Well, yeah, our fall event is that we're going to do it at Kircher's. We're going to have a huge event over at Kircher's.
Oh, that's so cool.
Like we're going to actually, because Nick, the president of the chamber, is part of that family and stuff like that. So we're gonna do something big at Kircher's. I can't reveal exactly what we're doing.
Love that.
But yeah, our October event's going to be huge.
Yeah. This is derailing the conversation real quick, if that's okay. I was driving by and I saw the 2 churches that are on the end of Kircher's. Those big 2 churches. Mm-hmm. I felt so sad because I remember when they used to be Orchard. I was like,
oh yeah, They took
there's just 2 big churches right next to each other.
Yeah.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah.
But anyway, I love Kircher and I love how old. I may have made this up, but I feel like, and this is probably just, I have no evidence, or I just heard this one time, and it could have been in a dream, who knows what. But I thought Johnny Appleseed may have.
I thought I heard that too.
Yeah,
I think he came through Goshen at one point. I think
I'll say it.
I think old man Kircher might have saw him walking by. That's actually a pretty good idea.
Right.
I might actually.
Throw a little bit in there. Yeah, that's so good.
Picking up the seeds after him, going, you know what? I'm going to use these seeds and plant the whole row.
So. Yeah. So Kircher's is such a cool little spot in Goshen, dude. And you're doing a ton of things. Not only that, but keep going.
So I'm an entrepreneur. Other than being from Goshen and doing the Goshen thing and all that stuff. I own multiple businesses. I own Aquascapes of Michiana.
Yeah, you've been doing that for a long time.
Since 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, so just over 10 years now.
Wow.
So been doing that since 2012. I'm a master pond builder. I travel all over the country doing epic water features for celebrities and other pond builders that need help with projects and things like that. And I also own a marketing company called Atlas Digital. We primarily specialize in social media marketing and YouTube editing, short form editing, vlogging edits, short video edits,
YouTube
for like TikTok and YouTube shorts and stuff like that. I also own a consulting company as well, Aquascapes Consulting. That's actually with my travel jobs. That's what I use to do that, just to kind of keep things separate. And then obviously I take care of our local market. We just finished up 2 years ago. We just finished up a project for Potawatomi Zoo.
Wow,
the new giraffe exhibit that just went in. Yeah. Did a huge water feature over there.
Well, I remember when you did the Ninja Golf Course in Granger.
I did Ninja Golf in Granger. That was a big one. That was my biggest one at that point. So,
wow.
Yeah, that was 2017 is when I did that one.
Yeah. And maybe I'm slipping, but I remember you also would snow plow. And you may not do that anymore, but I remember that.
I've really cut it down.
Okay, I was going to say,
like,
how do you do 17 different things?
Talk to anybody who's in the snowplow game, and they will tell you, like, it is not. We don't get the snow that we used to. Like, I do downtown Goshen.
Okay.
So, like, I do all the sidewalks for downtown Goshen.
Gotcha.
And,
okay.
I have one guy. That's all he does. So when it snows and we hit a 2-inch trigger. Yeah. He comes and grabs the machine, grabs our little MT100, a little mini skid steer with a push box on it.
Nice. Knocks it out.
He knocks it out. And then we also do subbing for Elkhart County. Gotcha. So we do like neighborhoods and stuff like that as well. And that's kind of.
But it's a hit or miss. Like this year, it barely snowed. I mean, it snowed a couple times. But yeah, until last week.
Well, like it snowed, but like it never got to that 2-inch trigger to where you're actually going to push and make money.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at right now with the weather. It's too cold to start doing pond cleanouts. Maintaining ponds. So I can't make money that way.
Right.
And it's too warm or it's not snowing enough to be able to make money for snow. So like we're caught in this
like downtime.
Oh my God.
Off season.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
But I mean, we're using it to our advantage. So what we went ahead and did is I run my business. I run aquascapes out of a barn from the 1850s.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, just
really.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Dude, it's awesome. Like hand hewn beans, like what you have here.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing's made out of it.
Oh, that's.
And we also have it used to be a dairy back in like the 1930s, and there's a milk house where they used to pull all the cows in and hook them up to the machines and all that stuff. And we've repurposed that what's called that milk house. And
so you're like front office, basically.
Basically,
yeah.
I'm
envisioning.
We're propagating. Half of it is split in half. It's two rooms, and one half of the room we're raising koi fish now. No. So we can sell koi fish to our clients. Yeah. We're propagating plants and stuff like that. Yeah. So like water lilies and water hyacinths and stuff like that for our builds and stuff like that.
Right.
And then on the
cut the cost out right there.
Exactly.
Totally
right.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, we went ahead and we built an 8x12 sandbox.
Okay.
So that way, new guys coming in working for me that don't know, because that's one of the things about being a pond builder. You can't just go out and hire people that know what they're doing.
Right.
Like the closest I've ever come to with hiring somebody is like, oh, well, I worked for so-and-so lawn care and I ran a lawnmower.
Right.
Or like, oh, I worked for, Linton's Landscaping and we put mulch in.
Right.
It's like, okay, that has absolutely nothing wrong. Yeah. It does nothing.
Like 0%.
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So the sandbox is designed for new guys.
Okay.
So that way they can go in and they can learn the basics and they can learn how our equipment works and how our process is and stuff like that. And they can actually start building water features.
Oh, wow.
So rather than doing this on
a job site.
Right, on a job site where the client's paying me hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to do this project.
Right.
I'm not training somebody.
Right.
Because, if you're paying $60,000 for a water feature and you walk outside and you hear somebody training somebody else, there's a little, exactly.
Starts to put the seeds of doubt in.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we have that for now.
Propagates those seeds of doubt.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to make sure that didn't get screwed up after they're gone, and those kinds of things. So that way my guys aren't training on a job to where we're getting paid tens of thousands of dollars to do this water feature. Right. They're training in the comfort and the safety of our milk house. So that way, and that way, that's how you develop your artistry.
Yeah.
That's how you develop your style. That's how you develop, in a sandbox, you can do whatever you want. Like it doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense or not. Do it. See what it does. If it leaks all over the place, well, it looks like you can't do that. And you're in a safe place to where you can do those kinds of things. But that's how you figure out how. Oh yeah, dude.
That's so fascinating.
There's definitely with pond building. There's such an artistry to it that a lot of people don't understand unless you're paying for it.
Right.
When you're paying for it, and I start explaining the process of what we're doing and how we're doing it, everybody's like, oh my God, I never would have thought about that. Yeah. Oh my God, I never would have realized that you think that deeply about it. Because that's the biggest thing. Is like we're just trying to make it as natural as humanly possible.
Yeah.
So
Well, then let's roll that into your conservation efforts too, right?
So I'm assuming you're talking about the Facebook post that I've been posting.
But also part of like building out landscapes is you want it to be natural.
Well, yeah.
And that is conserving and you're replicating nature.
Right.
Right.
And that's the whole point is we are replicating nature. So I'll actually go out into, like one of my favorite places to go to is like Turkey Run State Park.
Oh, yeah. That's
down in southern Indiana. Yeah. And like all the waterfalls down there and just kind of watch how water moves and how it flows. Or like I was traveling through Colorado one time and we just stopped on the side of the road at a rest stop. And there was a freaking waterfall behind the highway rest stop. And, like I'm hopping out of the car and my wife's telling me to get back in because it's time to go. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm like in this river trying to get this great shot of this waterfall and just seeing how water moves and stuff like that. But that's definitely part of it.
Yeah.
That's what we want to pull from. Yeah. One of the things that I'll do is a lot of other pond builders or newer pond builders, they'll just rock.
Right.
And what I'll do is I'll start adding additional natural elements into it, like logs. Like I'll bring a chainsaw on a job site and be like, hey, do you mind if I cut down this tree? Or they might have one down in their woods behind their house. Hey, do you mind if I cut this up and use it in your pond? They'll be like, what are you talking about? Just trust me.
Yeah.
Just trust me. You are going to want to see this. And what I'll do is I'll take the chainsaw and I'll cut off an end. And rather than leaving that flat end, what I'll do is I'll take the chainsaw and gnaw it up, kind of like a beaver.
No way.
So by the time I actually place it into the water feature, it'll look like a beaver tried making a dam right there. But that added natural element is that's another natural part of
layer.
It's the next layer. And every time, everybody's like, "Man, I don't want you to do this, but I'm gonna let you do it because you're the pro, and this is what I trust you for." And I'll do it, and I'll get done, and they'll be like, I can't imagine this water feature without that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it is.
I know.
That's why you're paying. That is exactly why I charge what I charge. So yeah, there's a lot of it too. And, from the other part of the conservation that I showed you before we started, the Southern Arkansas turtle farm.
That was sweet.
Dude.
That's cool.
So let me just give you a rundown on this. You want to hear this? Sorry, I know I'm not letting you talk a lot, but
this podcast is about you, bro. This is so cool. I'm here for it.
So one of my clients is in Churubusco, Indiana, Turtletown, USA.
Okay. And
he owns his name's Rusty Reed, the Turtle Man. So if you guys want to look him up, he's on YouTube, he's on TikTok, he's all over social media. Yeah. But older guy, he owns and runs the Blackwater Turtle Refuge.
Okay.
And he had a huge alligator snapper. His name was Crunch. And this guy used to take him to zoos, to shows, kids' birthdays, just holding on, letting people see it. But he got Crunch. I believe this is a story. So Rusty, if you're listening to this and I have this story wrong, you'll have to correct me later, but this is a story I'm running with, bro.
Yeah.
He got Crunch from the South Arkansas turtle farm. It's an alligator snapping breeding farm.
Okay.
And Papa Hobbs, Anthony Hobbs now owns it. Papa Hobbs, grandpa, started it back in the 50s.
Oh, wow.
And he had this one pond, and he had all of these alligator snappers in it, and they've been living in it ever since. Well, wow. Papa Hobbs, he ended up passing away a few years ago. And Anthony Hobbs and Mary Hobbs ended up inheriting the farm.
Okay.
And didn't really know a lot about alligator snappers. Didn't really know about the trade or anything. That's what they did is they bred and sold and did alligator snappers. Yeah. And so
they just got handed kind of.
Exactly. Yeah. And Anthony Hobbs reached out to Rusty, or Rusty reached out to Anthony because that was his supplier and stuff like that. And Anthony asked for help, and Rusty responded and came down there helping him out. Well, they realized that Papa Hobbs hadn't done anything with the pond in 20 years.
Really?
Yeah. And the thing is, it's not just like an open-sided pond where they could just get out whenever it was it's a fenced in.
So they're stuck there.
Yeah, they're stuck. That's where they'd realized that the pond had become so overpopulated that the alligator snappers were actually starting to fight. And they were starting to injure each other. They're starting, mating season. Yeah. They're starting to, unalive
Yeah.
each other and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
So that was the one thing that they realized. They're like, oh my God, we gotta do something about this. So Anthony Hobbs ended up digging out like 4 new ponds around the area.
Yeah.
And then we pulled back the fence, we drained the pond, and we went in there. We just started. I mean, we pulled out like 150 of these alligator snapping turtles, and only did half of it.
No.
So thing of the pond, like my cell phone right here.
Right.
We only did from the middle to the right side. We didn't even touch the left side of the pond.
Holy cow.
Oh yeah, no, dude.
Probably 300 turtles in that pond.
Holy bejesus.
Really?
And the reason why we did it when we did it is because when alligator snappers go into hibernation, they dig down into the mud. So they're like a foot, 18 inches into the mud.
Oh my gosh. They're probably layered on top of each other.
Oh yeah. And the thing is they were telling us like, hey, put on your waders and get in the pond. Well, if you know anything about alligator snappers, you saw that freaking head on them and that beak. Like they can bite your fingers off, bite your hand off, bite your foot off. Like, yeah. So like they gave us these poles. They're like, well, you just got to kind of, I'm from the north. So I'm like, bro, I'm not even, nope.
Yeah.
This is a nope time for me.
Nope situation.
But all the southern boys, from Louisiana and all the southern
down.
all about it.
Yeah.
So so one of the guys that actually came
They were
out,
already missing fingers.
oh,
No
bro,
big deal. Yeah.
They didn't care. They did not care.
No teeth, no fingers.
Nothing. So Rusty invited us. He also invited a whole bunch of other people. And one of the guys that he invited was, do you know who Stale Cracker is? So he's a TikToker.
Okay.
He's that dude with the long hair. Says, put that on a crackadoo. Yeah.
No
that's
way.
money, dude. He does all the crawfish boils.
Yes.
So I got to hang out with Stale Cracker for a whole weekend. Yes, dude. I'll show you the picture.
Bro, that's so cool. I didn't realize that. Yeah, he's a cool dude. I have watched a bunch of his stuff on.
Bam.
No way.
Yeah, so take a look at that. Put that on a crackadoo. So the funniest story about it is on day number 2, he was cooking us a crawfish boil. He was doing his thing.
But that's awesome.
Yeah, I've never done a crawfish boil.
Okay.
I've never partaken in a crawfish boil, and I walked up to him and I go, "Hey man, I just want to thank you for this. This is my first crawfish boil I've ever had." And he's got the metal paddle thing. Yeah. He slaps it down and looks at his film guy, Jacob. Yeah. And he's like, "Jacob, get over here." And Jacob like whips up his phone and goes and just starts going. And the guy and Stale Cracker's just like, "This is my boy Krys from Indiana. He ain't never had a crawfish boil." Slaps his phone down. He's like, "We about to learn him something, dude." And like I was just like, okay, sounds good. Yeah, right. So like
all the content,
dude. It was nuts. But yeah, I got to help him drain it. I got to help him pour it out on the table and stuff like that. And
that's so.
He gave us a tutorial. But I tell you what, a lot of people have through my social media and stuff like that have reached out like asking questions. I do not know if he was a state trooper. Stop asking me that one.
Oh, really?
Apparently, there's word on the street that he was a state trooper before he started doing this.
Oh, weird. Okay.
I have no idea. Did not ask that question. Wasn't going to ask that question.
This is the lore Stale Cracker.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
The hair, 100% real.
Okay.
That is not a wig under a hat like everybody likes to say. The accent, 100% real.
Yeah, on or off the camera.
Yeah, on or off the camera. 100% real accent, and the way he is 100% authentic.
That's so
He
cool.
is just one of those bayou boys out there. Like I have footage on here of just him poking around with that pole. Like I said, the Southern boys were just poking around with that pole, and like he dunk on a turtle, and he'd just start moving.
Oh my god!
Just all of a sudden grab down in there. Like I helped him move it was like a bush that was like seated into the side of the river of the bank of the pond. Yeah. Like I helped him move it, and he just right under there, started grabbing. Just pulled it up.
They're massive. Too.
Oh, dude, they're freaking. So we pulled, like I said, we only did half the pond.
Yeah.
We pulled out 150 of these things. I would have to say, okay, more than 100, no more than 150.
Okay.
Half of them weighed over 100 pounds.
Oh, my word.
Dude, just nuts. We found a state record male. It was 142.7 pounds.
He probably had no idea it was in there.
Just nuts.
Just because there was so many.
So many.
Wow.
There were so many. And we found a state record female. She was 87 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So we found 2 state records, 1 male, 1 female. And that's what we were doing is we pulled them out. And, you know, we did the conservation, we did the scientific stuff, and we measured the shell.
Yeah.
Greg Turtlehaven was there as well. He's a social media guy, but he's a turtle conservationist. Great guy, cool dude.
Has a really good heart for.
Yeah. And he was measuring the shells and doing all of the data collection, and like he'd file a number into their shell.
Wow.
So that way if they caught him again, yeah, exactly.
That makes
so
sense.
all of that kind of stuff. So we did all the scientific stuff. Got to actually see how they're bred from, you know,
Super small.
from little itty bitty to 142.7 freaking pounds. Like Jesus.
That's wild. I don't know if one person can pull it. You almost have to have 2 people pull that thing out.
Pretty much.
Or more. Man.
Right. Well, and they had some pretty interesting contraptions down there. So like they took like the 275 gallon IBC tubs that you see.
Yeah.
The white tubs that
Yes.
they usually have like the metal cage around it and stuff like that. So they'll cut one in half and they'll put like 2x4 planks on it and they'll bow the planks up with water or whatnot.
Okay.
So that way they'll have 2 ropes on the end of it. So you can pull it out, put a turtle in, pull it to the shore, take the turtle out, and then keep passing it back and forth. They had like a whole system down. They did, and I was just like, man, this is
something way more than you thought.
wow. Yeah, like this is.
So you got pulled into this house for the turtle guy you knew?
Yeah. So Rusty Reed just invited me, and dude, I'm.
Yeah,
I'm down to go. Yeah, like
well, imagine if you didn't go.
Right,
like,
exactly. I had a buddy. So I have a core group of pond builders that I build with, and one's from Detroit, one's from Oklahoma, and one's from Wisconsin.
Okay.
I got Jeff Michaels from Pondering Waters out of Detroit. Give him a shout out. You got Damian Drager, 40 Exterior Escapes from Wisconsin. Give him a shout out. And you got Cody Gilstrap from River Rock Water Gardens. Give him a shout out. He's from Oklahoma.
Cool.
But those are the 4 guys. Like
that's your master.
When I'm traveling, I'm usually traveling to go help one of them out.
That's cool.
Or we're traveling to go somebody else. Like that's my core group of guys.
Right.
And when Rusty told me about it, obviously I was going to tell my boys. Like,
yeah.
Dude, you guys need to do this. Like I don't care what you're doing. Like you need to stop, and we need to go do it because this is the only time it's ever going to happen.
Right. Yeah. They're never going to have a pond again.
Well, it's not even that. It's because now this upcoming summer, alligator snappers, you can't, unless you have a licensed farm to breed them, you can't touch them.
Really?
So this was the only time in history this was ever going to happen. It will never happen again.
What?
Yes. And from a content standpoint, being a social media influencer like I am and stuff like that's all you had to tell me.
Yeah.
Like only one chance to get all this content? Cool, let's bet. Say less.
I'm there. Oh my word.
But our buddy Damian Drager didn't get to go because his schedule couldn't,
Probably a job
Well, he owns his own business and he was already on a job. He was doing some hardscapes over the winter and stuff like that. And he's like, guys, I just can't do it. And he saw how much fun we had the whole time. And he was like, dude, I am so kicking myself in the butt for not going with you guys. And we're just like, So, and the cool thing about, from an Atlas Digital standpoint, we brought Daniel.
Yeah. So
with
he
us.
Just filmed.
So and Rusty Reed, Jeff Michaels, and Cody Gilstrap paid Atlas Digital for Daniel to come down, so that way we could focus on the turtles.
Right.
And all Daniel did was film.
Yeah, he just
filmed pictures, flew the drone, all the stuff.
Well, and for Daniel in Atlas, right, you get to then talk to other people who are doing social media.
Right.
You're then bouncing ideas off, learning what the next thing is. That's just great for.
And that's kind of the thing about Atlas Digital is you got a lot of marketing companies, in this area that they know about marketing, what some training seminar told them, or what their college degree told, or what their college professor told them, YouTube, or what they read in a book, or whatever they did.
Right.
Yeah, Atlas Digital, we're living it.
Right.
I am living it day in and day out. Yeah. Like I am, like today, how we set up all your GoPro. Setup. Like I have all that stuff. Like I am living it 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Daniel is a photographer. He works with, you had Trey Marquise on here. He works with Trey. So he's actually out with a big time videographer doing those things. Like he's living it. Yeah. And then our social media director, Ellen, she's a blogger.
Oh,
She's got 15,000 followers on Instagram. She's got she's got like 10,000 followers on Facebook.
So she's living it too.
She lives it. Like, and she does brand deals.
Wow.
You know, so she's doing, like, that's the thing about Atlas, that if I had to say that there's one thing that separates us from everybody else is
The experience.
we're actually influencers that are doing influencer shit.
Right.
And we can take that knowledge and we can take that experience and we can apply that to your business.
Right.
And get you what you're looking for.
Instead of maybe a formula that someone learned off of who knows what, right?
Yeah. And you know just as well as I do, social media is changing all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's changing faster and faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
And what worked in 2019 is not working in 2023.
100%, yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So all the other social media marketing companies out there that aren't keeping up on this stuff,
Right.
They're in the past.
It's easy to get kind of slowed down and just do the thing that you've been doing. But when you are making content for yourself, as opposed to making it for someone else, you start to realize that, hey, I need to get in front of people.
Right.
I need to continue to get those eyeballs, to continue to get in front of the individuals.
Right.
So, yeah, that experience is really important.
Yeah, and that's really the biggest thing for us. And
When did you start Atlas?
2022.
Oh, wow. So recently.
So there's a whole story behind it, and I'm not going to use names, but
Yeah.
So for me as a content creator and stuff like that, I'm really good at creating content. I'm the ham on video.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I'm a talker, you know, I'm animated. I'm a big, loud dude.
Enthusiastic.
Right.
I love it.
I'm 6'3", 280 pounds. Like, I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
I am a friggin' walking billboard. So I'm really good at gathering content, and I have some really creative ideas on how to gather content. But the one thing, my one Achilles heel is behind a computer.
No.
I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I don't know how to add transitions. I don't know how to add music, or that's just not the world that I grew up in.
Right. And if you did, it would take you so long.
It did.
It would take you 20 hours.
Dude, if anybody's on here and they actually want to go to some of like the first 10 vlogs on Aquascapes of Michiana's YouTube channel, was me doing it. It is so terrible. But I keep it on there because, you know, you got to see the progression. Yeah. You know, so if you
keep it on there, so when you come on the podcast, you can go say, listen to those 10 or watch those 10.
Right, exactly. So that was the thing is I could gather content all the live long day, but I didn't know how to edit it. So I hired a marketing company. I won't say who it was.
Right. I'll tell you.
But
I'm joking.
but you know, I hired a marketing company, and the marketing company's like, okay, well, we can do it for X amount of dollars a month. Okay, cool, awesome, sounds great. So get them all the content. They start doing it. Well, it's apparently the owner of the marketing company didn't realize what exactly went into being a YouTuber and managing a YouTube channel. Just didn't know. You know, it was just another account, you know, and he got social media content out of it, which social media marketing is what he knew. Didn't really know anything about YouTube.
Yeah.
So took the account, told me it was going to be X amount a month. And then about a year later, he's like, hey, I'm losing money off of your account. Oh, and me being a business owner, like, dude, you can't have that. Like, get it, dude, bro, I get it.
Right.
So what do you need to charge me in order to make money? He goes, if you pay me this amount right here, he goes, we're good. We've been doing this for a year. We know what we're doing now. We're kind of in a rhythm. Pay me this much money a year or a month, and we're good. I was like, bro, fine. Yeah. Say less. Got you, man. Yeah. I do not want you to lose money off of me. I understand that you got to make money to be in business. I get it.
Yep.
And another year went by, and I am at what's called Water Garden Expo. It's like Comic-Con.
Huge,
for pond builders. It's all the pond product manufacturers and
somewhere in Florida,
show.
Probably, right?
No, it's in Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I feel like all the
it was in the Dust Bowl.
Yeah.
So right next to a casino. So you knew where we were when. Yeah. So
conference casino.
That's pretty much it. It's awesome. Blackjack.
Yeah. And ponds.
Blackjack and ponds. Oh, geez. So
hit on all of them.
So I wake up and like our vlog drops Monday 10 a.m. every single week. Yeah. So I had been drinking pretty heavily the night before and went to bed probably about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Bourbon crushes.
Oh yes, bourbon crushes. Right. Definitely some bourbon crushes. And I wake up with the time change. I woke up just in time for our new vlog to hit. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh man, I'm laying in bed, and I was like, all right, well, let me check out the new vlog. You know, hop on YouTube real quick. Nothing posted. I'm like, what? So I had been in touch with my editor. So when I joined the company, when I became an accountant for the company, they hooked me up with an editor, and that editor is Daniel.
Okay.
And so him and I worked together really close for 2 years and stuff like that, developing everything and trying new things and getting it to where it is today. So I called Daniel. I'm livid.
Yeah.
Because you know how YouTube is. You miss once.
Right.
You're back to square one.
Right.
It is all about consistency. Consistency in your content, consistency in your posting, consistency in the length of your videos, consistency in your descriptions, your tags, your titles, and your SEO and all that stuff.
Yep.
Completely gone. 3 years down the toilet. Yeah.
I'd be frustrated.
Oh, I was so mad. And I'm just screaming at him. And I'm just like, dude, what the F? And da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, dude, they didn't call you? The owner of the company didn't call you? I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm still... He's like, no. He told me that in the wintertime, we were going to change your style and we weren't going to do YouTube anymore. We were just going to do Facebook. Or no. Exactly was, instead of doing YouTube weekly, we were going to do it bi-weekly. And we were going to continue doing your social media. And he's like, I know that was wrong. And I told him to call you. Did he ever call you? And I said, no, nobody told me anything. Now my freaking YouTube channel's bombed. Like, dude, I am mad. Like, I am mad at a wet hornet.
Yeah.
And,
that's frustrating.
oh, dude, so frustrating. And, so he's like, all right, hold on. Let me call you back. And he called me back like a few hours later and stuff like that. And, he was like, so did the owner call you? He was like, I told him to call you. I told him you were upset. I was like, no, nobody's called me nothing. Nobody said a word. I was like, dude, I'm in Oklahoma City. I was like, I will get in touch with you guys when I get back.
Yeah.
So I get back and the owner won't call me. He's dodging me. He won't answer my phone calls, anything like that.
Okay.
So, and then all of a sudden I get this huge long text message about how he was losing money again off my account and this and that and this and that after him and I had,
Yeah. And that's not how you run business.
No, it's not how you run business, man.
No
way. Certainly from a business standpoint.
Yeah, you call the person.
It is what it is. So like I said, I'm not going to name names.
Right.
You know, if you know, you know.
Right.
It is what it is.
Right.
So I also wasn't getting my content back.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't keep copies.
Oh,
I was naive. I didn't keep copies. I had given it all to them, and they put it on their own server. And I wasn't going to get it. No, it wasn't like they came out and said, hey, we are not giving back your content. It was going to be like one of those, because I quit. Like, I was like, we are done. Yeah. In that text message, I was like, we are done. We stop everything.
Service ended.
Yeah, service done.
Yep.
And then basically they were, from my understanding, they were just going to end all contact right there.
Yeah.
And just, since you're not a client anymore, we're just going to delete it all off our server. So I wasn't going to get back my content. It wasn't that they didn't tell me they weren't going to give me contact back. I just, I knew I wasn't going to get my contact back.
Yeah.
So, I've been in touch with Daniel a couple times, and Daniel
came through.
What
a homie.
He grabbed an external hard drive, and he uploaded everything from their server and copied it onto an external hard drive. He quit.
No way.
Showed up to my house and went, hey, bro, I got all your stuff back.
No way.
Yeah. Like solid homie.
Yeah.
So he handed me all, and here's how thick I was at the time. So he hands me this hard drive that's got all of my content that I never thought I was going to get back. And I mean, we've got at least 15 vlogs on there that never would have seen the light of day if he hadn't done that. Dude. On top of raw content that still needed to be edited together.
Yeah.
So like he hands me this. I'm like, dude, thank you so much, dude. That's so great. I really appreciate it. If you ever need anything, dude, just let me know. I freaking got you.
Right. You came through.
And he's like, yeah. And I also quit. And I was like, oh, yeah. He goes like, I'm just not going to work for somebody like that, and the way that things went down, he's like, that didn't set well with me. And I'm not having that.
Yeah.
I have standards and I have pride and I have my own morality. And he's like, I'm not working for somebody like that.
Yeah.
And kind of talking with him, coming to find out, it was the fact that the reason why my YouTube channel got bombed was because they had so much work that they decided not to do the work. Because they had so much work come in. They had a lot of people quit because of the way this place was ran.
Right.
And
so they couldn't do the work.
So they decided to lie about it and say that this was always the deal, which it was never the deal.
Right.
But so
they
Daniel
screwed you over.
So, like I said, I'm being a little bit thick here because I'm just like so relieved that I have my content. Like I'm just so freaking happy. Haven't even thought about how I'm going to continue my YouTube channel, but because that happened, I knew I had time to recoup and come back again strong.
Right.
And Danny looks at me and goes, "Dude, did you hear what I said?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I quit." I was like, "Yeah, well, I heard that, and thank you so much for my content. If you ever need anything, just let me know." He's like, "Dude, I'm asking for a job," and I was like, "Oh." Like it was going over my head. Yeah. So I'm just like, okay.
Well, and he's the one that was probably your primary.
He was doing all my work.
Right. And
he knew everything.
Right. That makes sense right there.
Everything. Yeah. I had basically trained him for 2 years.
Right.
So at that point, I'm just like, man, all right, let me think about it. I think this was either on a Thursday or a Friday. I was like, give me the weekend. Let me think about it. I'm thinking about it over the weekend. Going through finances, seeing what I could do.
Yeah.
Because, Aquascapes is doing well.
Right.
But it's not, I can't.
You got down season.
I got a down season. I got all this other stuff, cash flow, overhead, all that kind of stuff. I got to pay myself in the wintertime, because my wife doesn't work. She's a stay-at-home mom with our 3 kids and stuff like that. So, I really had to think about it. And I was like, man, what am I going to do? Because I really like this kid.
Yeah.
Really want to keep him. Does a great job. Absolutely fantastic dude.
Yeah. You don't want him to dig ponds.
Right, exactly.
Right? You want him to.
Right.
But then you don't
But I couldn't really afford not to have a non-producing employee within the company.
Right. And he's probably only doing, he's probably working, but he probably had enough time to do other stuff too. Not just 100% your content.
And not to say that the YouTube efforts weren't fruitful. Right. My YouTube channel has sold over $3 million in the past 5 years.
Wow. Yeah, so it's worth it.
Oh, yeah. So it is definitely like I stopped doing trade shows and all those money wasting, time wasting, energy wasted things. And I threw everything in on social media, TikTok. I've got over 2,700 followers on TikTok. We've got over 615 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm not in the thousands or anything like that. But like I said, I'm sitting here thinking about it. And I'm like, man.
And your stuff's getting in front of people who are looking at it. And you're marketing to the right people.
I'm marketing to the right people.
Right. Would you rather take 600 people who want to buy a pond as opposed to 10,000 people who aren't
10,000 people who aren't even they're just scrolling through their phone on Google and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I'd rather have 1,000 true fans than 1 million followers.
Yeah, 100%.
Or a population of 1 million people to market to. Right. Because those 1,000 people, if you've ever read Seth Godin's Tribe, he wrote a book called Tribe. And he said that you can be more impactful in a market with 1,000 true followers than you can with marketing agencies to 1 million, to a population of 1 million.
Yeah.
And that I truly 100% believe that.
Yeah. Because you're in front of decision makers.
Right.
You're not in front of people who are just looking at content, consuming.
Right.
Yeah. It makes sense.
And I also didn't start YouTube I'm not trying to be Logan Paul. I'm not trying to be Mr. Beast or anything like that. I use YouTube because, number one, a lot of people that buy from me, they buy because of who I am, my energy, my passion, my, all of my creativity and stuff like that. And people see that when they actually meet with me. So that's a personality that I want to promote on YouTube. And number two, it's a portfolio for my work.
It's a visual thing.
It is, 100%.
There's the blog that looks like a beaver gnawed at it.
Right.
You can't explain.
I can't explain that on radio.
You can't. We kind of did a little bit, right? But it's different when you see it.
Right, exactly.
It
is 100% a thing.
It in your backyard.
Yes.
Yeah.
100% a thing. And that's what it is. So back to Daniel, thinking about how I can do it. And, I started thinking about my beginning. Like, how did I get into this position in the first place? I'm really good at gathering content. I just don't know how to edit it. And I'm sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, how many other pond builders? Because there are other master pond builders in the world. There's like 450 master pond builders in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm sitting here thinking about like
that's a lot smaller of a group than I thought.
Right.
But also that's a lot bigger than I would have thought too.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So like just thinking about that.
Yeah.
And just like, man, I can't be the only one. I'm actually one of the younger ones. Like I'm probably the oldest young guy.
Gotcha.
In the pond building game. There are a lot of older guys.
Yeah.
But like, how many of those older guys know how to edit?
Oh no.
Like how many? Yeah.
Very
How
few.
many of them were in the same position I was before? When I hired that other marketing company that just needs somebody to edit their stuff.
Right.
And not only that, but needs to find, because you can find editors on Upworks.com.
Right.
And you could pay somebody, $3 an hour from Sri Lanka and stuff like that. But there's nobody knows what we do.
Right.
Unless you know what we do. You know what I'm saying?
It's the experience part.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And here you go. I have a trained, true editor.
Right.
Who knows how to edit for ponds.
Right.
And for pond
So
builders.
you niche right into it.
That's
right
perfect.
into
it.
That makes so much
So he came back on, I was like, hey, come back on Monday. I got an idea. I'm going to pitch it to you. I got an idea. And he comes in and he was like, all right, what's up? And I was like, let's start a marketing company. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, you and me. Let's start a marketing company. I was like, we've got there's 450 master pond builders in the world right now.
Yep.
How many of them need these services?
Right.
And he's like, yeah, that's a good point. And like immediately, the 4 guys that I told you about, first 4 clients.
Wow.
Plus Aquascapes.
Wow.
So Aquascapes actually pays Atlas. It's not like I'm the owner of Atlas, so I get all my marketing stuff for free.
Right.
Aquascapes of Michiana, yeah, it is. It's 100% separate. And in order to be a good business person, you have to know when to keep those lines separate.
Right.
It could be very easy that Aquascapes gets its marketing done for free from Atlas because I'm the owner. That's how that works. But that doesn't pay my employee's paycheck.
Right.
Aquascapes needs to pay for its market. So the same amount of money, actually a little bit more now.
You were going to be spending that on the other market.
Well, yeah, exactly. I already had it budgeted in.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I already had that.
Why not shift it?
Exactly. And
You're
that's what it was.
closing one more loop too.
Exactly.
Right? Instead of paying for your lilies that you're propagating.
Yep.
Now you propagate them.
Right.
Instead of having marketing. I mean, that makes sense.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
So this year it went up a little bit because we're doing a little bit more short form stuff, getting into Facebook Reels because Facebook Reels monetized and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah. Facebook Reels and Instagram Reels monetized. So we're trying to do that.
Yeah.
But that's it is Aquascapes is Atlas's biggest client. And at the time I was paying the exact same I was going to pay that marketing company. And that is, that and a $20,000 credit card is exactly how we started Atlas Digital. I looked at Daniel and I go, dude, you need to be as specific as possible because I don't know anything about your world, but I need to know exactly what you need to get this started. Because I can't just go to the bank and borrow $100,000. Like we need to do this as minimalistically as humanly possible.
Right.
So we got him. I got him a really good computer. I was going to last him. It was a custom build computer specifically for editing. Got him a nice monitor, all that kind of stuff, and started paying for his internet. And it's 100% remote.
Wow.
We don't have an office.
We're living in
today's day and age after COVID. Yeah, we don't need no office.
Yeah.
So things started going well. So like I said, the 5 clients right off the bat: Aquascapes Michiana, Pondering Waters, 4D Exterior Scapes, Cody Gilstrap, River Rock Water Gardens, and then we also added a Texas company, Hunter, Aqua Springs, Texas. Down in Houston.
Wow.
First 5 clients right there.
Wow.
And started doing that. And we actually got enough hey, I want social media. And started adding that too. Yeah. And Daniel was doing everything by himself. Because I'm building ponds. I can't help him out with anything. So
you're getting the clientele. He's doing the.
We're getting right, exactly.
Symbiotic.
So we got to the point where Daniel pulls me out or comes to my house and has a meeting with me. He goes, look, I can't.
Too much.
Yeah. I can't do this. I was like, all right, cool. Thank you. Thanks for telling me now.
Yeah.
And one of my wife's best friend, she's a blogger. She's got 15,000 followers on Instagram. I said this earlier and stuff like that.
Yep.
She's always I always knew that once we were at that point that is who I was.
Oh, that's
I was
cool.
Oh yeah, 100%. I already knew she was working at Target. Her husband was a 20-year veteran.
Wow.
Yeah, 20-year veteran from the Marines. He retired a master sergeant, and when he retired after 20 years, he basically like tagged her and said, "You're it. I'm stay-at-home dad now. You go get a job."
I've been through it.
Right, exactly. Like I am done. Like this elbow, that elbow, this knee, all replacements. I am not working anymore. I am done.
Yeah.
And so he retired from the Marines, and she went and got a job at Target and stuff like that. And like I could see her just beating herself up every single day and all that kind of stuff. And I had brought it up a couple times, and haha, Krys, you know, because on top of my wife being her best friend, like I've known her since high school. Like, we grew up together, and like I've always seen her. So her tag is The Little Cardinal.
Okay.
So if you guys ever want to check her out, it's The Little Cardinal on Instagram and Facebook. And she writes blogs and does brand deals and does brand promotion and all that kind of stuff.
Very cool.
And just been talking to her and stuff like that. And hey, Ellen, you just need to quit dealing with Target and retail. So you just need to come work for me. Just come on.
Yeah.
Come on. And she'd resist. Well, obviously that wore down after. And finally, I'll never remember. I was driving back. We were doing a 125-foot pondless waterfall up in Grand Beach, Michigan.
Okay.
And she calls me. She doesn't ever call me. It's always like a text message or something like that.
Right.
She never calls me. So I'm like,
what's this about?
Hello? She was like, Krys, I got to talk to you. I was like, is my wife and kids okay? She's like, yes. I was like, okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. Because if anybody was going to call me about that, she would have been the one to call me. Yeah. So like, I was like, all right, cool. What's up? She goes, I hate it. I'm out of here. I want done with this. She's like, does that job offer still stand? I was like, yeah, sure. It's been a standing offer ever since. So she's like, I'm done. I was like, okay. So we brought her on, and and like we've gained. I think we've tripled our client base.
Wow.
Just by bringing her on, just doing social media. And like she's been doing all for YouTube. So Daniel does all the video, he does the thumbnail. Okay. And what he does is he'll upload the thumbnail and a video to YouTube, and then Ellen will come in after he's done.
At the time.
And she does all the tags, bio, the titles, the keywords, the descriptions, all of this stuff.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they're tag teaming. He's doing what he's really good at.
Yep.
Daniel's crushing at what he's doing.
Yep.
Ellen's doing. Yeah, that's awesome.
Creative writing. That's her big thing. That's what she went to school for.
That's
all that
super
stuff,
helpful.
Dude. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
When I'm looking at trying to take an idea and turn it into an email and send it to someone, it takes me so long.
Oh, so long.
I'm like, I know what I want to say. I can never type it out.
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, I sound like so stupid.
Right. Well, and like since she has a background in creative, like here I am. Like I'm one of those guys. Like if there's a tool out there you can use to help you with your job, use it. Right. Don't try and be I'm too good for that. Don't be vain. Don't be prideful. Do it.
Right.
And so I made the mistake of suggesting Zapier at GTP.
Oh no.
Chat.
She wasn't about it.
She was not.
Yeah.
Until about 3 weeks into the job.
Then she started doing it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if
she's. Sure she maybe.
But she texted me because, like I said, text message. Phone calls are serious. Text message or just asking questions.
Ideas, thoughts. Yeah.
So what was the name of that AI you were suggesting? I was like, Zapier and GTP chat.
Yeah.
And she's like, I might give them a try. I was like, why? What's going on? She's like, oh, nothing. Just running out of ideas in this brain. I was like, yeah, go for it. You know.
Well, and it can give you at least the body,
right?
And you can flesh it out if you want.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Just an idea.
I have done that. I've done that. So we got a couple clients and like they wanted like, hey, I need to work on my tagline. And this was before Ellen came out, and Daniel was like, I don't. That's not me. Like Daniel can't even spell correctly most of the time, and sometimes I have to pre-watch all of my YouTube videos. So when he puts up the anagrams on the word, got to make sure everything's spelled out correctly and stuff like that. Yeah. Like sometimes I'll actually make that a mistake on purpose because it gets people to comment in the comments.
Yeah, hey, this said something wrong.
Right, exactly.
Dude, that's master marketing.
Right there.
Yeah.
So if you know anything about waterfalls and stuff like that, the top of our pond or our waterfall, that's a waterfall basin. that starts the waterfall coming in.
Okay.
And then we also have something called wetland constructed wetland filters for bigger ponds. That's how we keep them clear. Basically we construct a wetland filter. But they're two very, very different things.
Okay.
And if you know, you know. If you don't, whatever.
Right.
But he accidentally called a waterfall basin, the start of a waterfall, a wetland filter. Dude, I got like 50 comments and like 3,000 views off that one video because he accidentally called it a wetland. I was just like,
it ticked people off.
Wow.
That's
They're
awesome.
like, that's not a wetland, right? And I just replied to every single one. Yep, sorry, our bad, my bad.
Yeah.
But it got people.
The comments really got moving.
It got comments moving.
No way.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that's the thing for all you YouTubers out there. If you
mistakes,
make a mistake, and own it. Still own it. Don't argue with people because people are going to support you in the comments. Like, yep, sorry, totally. That is supposed to say something else. My bad. But like that was one of the things that we discovered on accident, just because Daniel made a mistake. Like we actually now. Do
it purposely.
Do it on purpose.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Right here, right there, right there. Yeah. Right. That's so cool. That's so cool. That's smart.
Spell Aquascapes of Michiana wrong next time.
Right. Well, and that's the experience part, right? That's the experience part that you get with working with Atlas.
Right.
Because you've done this so many times as opposed to like.
Right. We've done it right. We've done it wrong. We've, all that kind of stuff.
That's how you learn.
I think in the past 30 days, we've got over 100,000 views.
Wow.
On our 100,000 views on our channel, and I think we've got 300 watch hours.
Wow.
Past 30 days.
Wow. And
dude,
that's only going to grow.
Yeah.
That's only going to grow. That's the thing. It's
30 days ago we had just over 400 subscribers.
Wow.
And today 615 plus.
Dude, that's so cool.
So just and that's
the consistency, the work.
Yeah,
that's what
it is
with the podcast. Is
right.
Just consistency. Putting it in, you start to see it explode.
Right, and that's it. It takes a minute.
It's not gonna happen overnight.
Right. No.
You just got to continue to do it.
Well, and the thing is, it's more of a checklist than anything else, because you can make the greatest. You could Bob Ross this painting,
right?
But if you're not following the algorithm,
right,
or doing the research on what YouTube's doing, the tags, the titles, the descriptions, and all that stuff, it could be the best freaking painting ever. It could be the best content in the world.
Right.
Gone, lost.
Yeah,
nobody will see it.
Right. There's so much content.
There's so much bullcrap content, terrible content out there, but they did everything else right that gets 1 million views, and it's just, that's right. Yeah. So I went viral a couple times on TikTok.
Really?
Snowplow.
Oh, really?
Really?
That's what you really
just complaining about people in my so it was, I think it was like 2017, 2018, and I'd just be in the truck and just throw my phone up, just be bored, just driving around talking and talking about crappy drivers in front of me and crappy people. I had a guy I was plowing the neighborhood and stuff like that, and like he started throwing snowballs at my truck.
What?
Because he had just snowblowed his driveway, and I pushed everything up.
Okay.
And I've got a TikTok on there where it's got a guy who's literally blocking my plow from pushing because he's in a cul-de-sac.
Okay.
And his yard is the only place we could put sno. And that's part of living in Elkhart County.
Yeah.
Is like, that's part of it. Like, we are allowed to push it. Bro, it was like, it was like he chained himself to his mailbox and stuff like that. You can't put that here and I'm not moving. All right, cool. I just lifted my blade up, put it in reverse, and that TikTok went viral.
No.
Yeah. It was freaking nuts. Well,
you got to continue to snowplow. That's the viral content right there. It sounds like.
No, I am not interested in snowplow anymore. I was, I used to do big commercial accounts and stuff like that. It's like I said, there's no money in it anymore. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Like, we're going to go way back. How'd you get into, like, you're doing all these different things, and I feel like it stemmed from you stepping out and going the unconventional route, because not everyone owns a business, and you are now owning and running multiple different facets of a business. How did that process?
So before 2012, I was actually a union rep.
Okay.
I was working in the factories. I worked at Bull Moose Tube. We did structural steel tubing. I was a union rep, worked on the line. I punched in, punched out, shift work, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And my stepmom was a master gardener. She's actually the one that started Aquascapes of Michiana. I didn't start Aquascapes of Michiana.
Okay.
So, and her and my younger brother started Aquascapes of Michiana, and another guy. He's also I'm not going to say his name, but he's a local quote unquote pond builder. Okay. He's more of a scam artist that likes to scam a whole bunch of old people out of money and stuff like that. Does a terrible job, and yeah. So he gives us a bad name.
I remember you talking how that's actually a common thing in this industry.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys just not doing it right, and yeah.
But so your stepmom.
My stepmom did it.
Okay.
Yeah, she started it, and
wow.
she started Aquascapes Michiana, and so did my dad. It's a long, sad story. I don't know if it's appropriate for your podcast, but long story short,
whatever you feel like.
Yeah.
Saying.
Yeah, I think I need to get it out at this point in 2023. So, Sherry, my stepmom, and my dad started Aquascapes Michiana. And my younger brother, Justin, was he was going to be the person who took it over eventually and stuff like that. He was supposed to be me.
Okay.
And that the guy that I'm talking about, the guy I was talking about he's the scam guy. He substance abuse issues, alcoholism, all that that's what it all stemmed from. Great artist. As far as an artist goes, really great. He knew where to place rocks. He knew how to do all of that kind of stuff, but just didn't the other side of everything. He didn't know what a dollar actually, he had like 5 baby mamas and 6 kids and all those kind of things. And the guy my dad was always the money. My dad was an engineer on the railroad, and my dad was always, I'm the money. I don't work in the business. I'm just the money. Sherry runs the business. Justin and that other guy work in the business.
Right.
And some things were said, some things were done, and Justin ended up committing suicide.
Oh, wow.
He unalived himself.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, it was 2015. It was the kid they found in the Elkhart River had to shut down the soccer match at Elkhart High School. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
That was him.
Wow.
And so obviously that happened.
Yeah.
And
that's tough.
Yeah, that was really tough. Well, come to find out, some things weren't true that were being said by the other guy. When I came on, I ended up figuring out that he was stealing from us.
Wow.
He stole about $25,000.
Wow.
And he'd say that he was doing this job, and he'd be punched in doing this job.
Right.
But yeah, he was doing side work for somebody else on the other side of town.
Right.
And nobody caught it. Nobody was checking it.
Wow.
And Justin, my younger brother, was trying to tell my dad and my stepmom about this, and they didn't believe him. Justin had some drug issues. Yeah. Mainly pot. Like today nobody would care. Right. But back then 2012, that was a thing.
Right.
And
Colorado just made it legal. Like
right.
It was like
it was just a new thing.
Everything. Yeah.
So at that point, he tried saying it, but with his past and his history, they never believed him. They didn't believe him. The other guy, he was a con man.
Yeah.
He knew. Oh yeah. He knew. Yeah. And, so that happened. Sherry just couldn't do it anymore. My dad came to me and, he just said, "Hey, this is a family business. I need family running it.
Wow.
You need to quit your job. You need to come help me run this because I can't run it by myself." And that's always been my dad's dream is having a father-son business.
Yeah.
So I did. I was like, all right, cool. I bought fully in. I quit. I started doing this full time. I had already had 2 kids at that point, making no money. I was making like $200 a week.
Oh gosh.
Like it was yeah.
You're scraping.
Oh man, we were scraping by.
Yeah.
But with me being in position, I'm a salesperson.
Right.
I can sell ketchup popsicle to a woman going to church in white gloves. But
I've never heard that.
Yeah, right.
I love that though. Yeah. I see that.
But once I got into it and started, obviously Sherry was going through the grieving process and all that kind of stuff. Like she was done.
Yeah.
100%. She was
clocked out.
She was ready to be done. Yeah. So not to get into, so me and my father also had some disagreements on the way business should be ran, you know, things like that. He was more in it. He was more into the business as far as personal gain rather than the company's gain. I'm in the business. Yeah, I get paid a salary, but I get paid a salary. You know, everything that we make as far as profit goes right back into the business. That's how I buy new trucks. That's how I get my guys raises. That's how I get that awesome shirt that you're wearing right now. You know, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, I make a salary. I make enough money that supports my family, pays their bills. I drive a 2008 or a 2005 GMC Sierra diesel, a single cab. Like, it's not like I'm driving a Cadillac Escalade or anything like that, but I'm also that person. I live humbly.
Right.
So, you know, everything, my dad was just more of, well, how much profit can I take out of the business? You know, every single month. And it's like, whoa, wait a second. You can't project anything by doing that. You can't like, there were many times to where we quote unquote split profit. Cause like I said, I was making $200 a week. Yeah. And whatever we made in profit that month, which usually accumulated to like maybe $2,000, $2,500. So I was like making $2,800 a month. Right. Whereas, you know, my dad was making $10,000, $12,000 a month. Yeah. Yeah. And stuff like that. So, but that's what it just ultimately it became about money. Right. It became about profit. It wasn't about running a business and growing a successful business and having the longevity. Right. It was the short term.
Yeah. How much can I make right now?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So, and then after the thing with Justin and all that, Sherry and my dad ended up getting a divorce. Yeah. And Sherry
weighs heavy. I can't imagine.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And you know, I'm sure some people would say there's some blame on both sides, but for the most part, it was my dad's fault, in my opinion. But you know, when she left in our operator's agreement, when I came on, Sherry had Sherry's portion of the business. I owned 30%. My dad owned 34%. Sherry owned 36%. Okay. And it wasn't Gary and Sherry owned 70% accumulatively. No, like it was specified. Gary Yacks owns 34%. Right. Sherry Yacks owns 36%. So their portions were theirs. It was together. Right. They own 70%. But separately, so that way when we did have to make decisions, our percentages represented our votes. Right. So, and Sherry and I, towards the end, Sherry and I were in agreement that we're trying to build something for longevity. We weren't just doing this to make a whole bunch of money and whatnot. Right. So her and I we would run the business, and Dad would we need to bring it a vote. Okay, cool. 30% votes this way, 36 votes that way, 34%
this way
votes the other way. Right. Okay, cool. Majority rule, blah, blah, blah. Right. We just basically did it by the book. But in our operator's agreement, when Sherry decided to sell, she had to give us 6 months notice that she was selling. Okay. And she got to pick who she sold it to. Wow. It wasn't, she didn't have to sell it to the highest bidder. And I remember we were sitting there in July, we were having our monthly meeting. And she was like, hey, just want to let you know, verbally and in writing, I am
6 months.
I'm done. 6 months. Here's my 6 months notice. Yeah. So my dad was like, oh, that's fine. Cool. Krys and I we'll buy it from you and we'll just split it between the two of us. And then I looked at my dad and I was like, no, I'm going to buy it myself. And like, I can understand that felt like a betrayal on my dad, but the way things were going, I'm skipping over a lot of fights and a lot of knockdown dragouts. Yeah. But ultimately, I was like, hey, I'm buying her out myself. And he's like, that doesn't matter. If I offer her more money, she has to take my offer. And I'm like, no, that is not how it reads right here. She gets to pick. Right. And she looked at my dad and said, I'm picking his. I'm giving it to Krys because he's going to be able to carry the mantle the way that it should be. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I ended up buying her out. I did pay her. We had a third party come in and actually do it fair, and did it fair. And I paid her a fair market value on it and stuff like that. Yeah. And then I ended up buying my dad out like 2 years later.
Wow, he was ready to get out.
Yeah. It was just
made sense.
it was one of those things that there was a little bit of revenge in it, a little bit of hostility. But once I actually gained control of the business, I just looked at him and look, I'm not getting paid off profits anymore. I'm taking a salary. And I was like, I'm just going to tell you right now, I will make sure every single month that profit line says 0. You are not getting another dime. Because then after Sherry had been done, after Sherry sold, I also found out that not only was Scam Boy scamming, my dad was scamming. Yeah. My dad was embezzling money.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
especially
that's what
your heart and
yeah, exactly. That's my dad, man. Like, my dad was my idol growing up. So there was a lot of change and a lot of things, but ultimately I think for me and my family specifically, that was the best thing we could have done. Me and my dad still don't even talk today. And
really?
No, we don't. It's just, and it's 100% on him. Yeah. Like, I always tell everybody. I always tell him, and I tell anybody else I talk to. Like, my kids are still his grandkids. I am never, ever, ever going to step in between him having a relationship, because, like, my son is his only grandson. He's the only grandson of the family. I'm the only boy in my generation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm the only boy. My son is the only boy. My dad is the only boy.
Right.
So, like, I'm not
make that connection. Right.
But he chooses not to.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like, I can't really.
What do you do with that?
I can't.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do. It's all on him.
Yeah.
Then I've told him that many times. Like, dude, I will not. If you want to have a relationship with your grandkids, go for it.
Right.
Go for it. That has nothing to do with you and I. That has nothing to do with how our relationship has changed and all that kind of stuff. Like, I can't. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to do that to my kids. They deserve to know who their grandfather is, and he has chosen to do what he's done. Yeah. So, kind of sad. It's sad, but
that story. I hear that story all the time.
I'm sure.
Not from you. Just hear it. It's that's common. Like, once business gets involved, it's hard to mix family.
Oh, it really
together.
is.
It's weird. Can I tell you one story about your dad?
Sure.
That I remember.
Yeah.
So maybe more of a positive note. We all went out to breakfast. You, me, Joe Mel, and your dad. And he was the first one that showed me the Freemason sign when you.
Oh yeah, the handshake.
The little secret thing.
Yeah.
Your dad showed me that. I still. That's like the one memory I have of your dad is him showing me how to do the secret Freemason hand sign. I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah, he might get killed now.
Yeah, man. I know. Now it's out. Did I say that? Oh, I meant the scammer showed me how to. You know what I'm saying? I might get killed. I might be dragged over to who knows what.
Oh my goodness.
So you then take over the business.
Yep.
And this is like 2016, 2017.
So this is 2016.
And that's
2015,
when we collided,
2016.
basically.
Yeah, that is right as that was going on is when you and I met.
Okay, I knew some of the story, but I didn't know all of it.
So yeah, So in 2016, this is kind of where I diverge into the whole social media influencer thing.
Yes.
So like our industry's huge social media influencer, his name's Greg Woodstock. Okay. It's Greg Woodstock, the Pond Guy.
Okay.
And he owns a company called Aquascape Inc.
Okay.
And it's my product manufacturer. He owns a company that produces all of the pond products that I buy. Biofall.
Your distributor.
No, actually, I have a different distributor, but they're the manufacturer. They're the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
And Greg saw a vision he built Logan Paul's pond.
No way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
In his old house. I got pictures of it. That was actually the QR code the picture that's behind my thing off the dot card.
That's the Logan Paul?
Yeah, that's the Logan Paul pond. So I think
cool.
Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox own that house now.
No,
so they have
one that's in California, because then Logan Paul.
It's the one in California. Yeah,
Puerto Rico, and then also has a ranch somewhere.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with them.
Yeah, who knows
but Greg saw the power of he was the original one that saw the power of social media in 2015 and started doing it. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm copying him, because I'm definitely not.
No, you're doing it.
But I understand.
You see the vision.
I see what he was talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it in my own way, which I'm sure Greg probably won't agree with 100%.
That's okay.
But I also don't have a multi-million-dollar company that I can.
But also, you're doing it where then he is surrounded by other people who are not doing it. So I think he probably appreciates that.
Right.
I'm sure. maybe it's not the same way that he's doing it, but yeah, that's crazy.
So we've got Greg Woodstock, the pond guy. He's the big influencer, and then we've also got my favorite, Ed, the pond professor.
Okay.
Awesome dude. And his name's Ed Ballou. He's the vice president of Aquascape Inc., but he's also a studier. He's a scientist in freshwater systems.
Oh wow.
So that's like his thing. So like when he starts talking, it's all about phytoplankton and ecology and how, this algae mixes with this, and then these phytoplankton come in and together they form Captain Planet.
That's so stuff. Cool.
But like he's like, that's his
why
thing.
He's the professor.
Oh, dude, that's why he's the professor.
Yeah, just knowledge base.
I've done a lot of projects with Ed. Like Ed calls me regularly, like, "Hey, I got this project going on over here in Chicago. Do you want to come? You want to come help me out with it?" I'm like, "I'm there, dude. Let's do it." But just one of the coolest I have tried. Just one of the coolest, levelest headed, never gets mad kind of a guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've tried. I have tried making him mad. I have tried
poking,
and I'm really good at doing that. Like, I can get Greg's goat really quick. Oh yeah. So one of the things I do on Greg. Here, I'll pull up the picture and I'll show it to the camera when I do it. But one of the things, Greg has this, you know what a Bubba cup is?
Yes.
So, all right. So you know what a Bubba is. So Greg has a Bubba. And so like I was talking about Water Garden Expo, we have another one that's for Aquascape Inc. specifically, and it is called Pondemonium.
Okay.
And Greg always has this freaking Bubba cup that he's carrying around and stuff. I'm sorry, I'm talking slow because I'm trying to find it. So anytime he leaves his Bubba cup around, I always hide it. Show it to the camera real quick.
So it's like way up in the rafters, basically.
Yeah. So that's how you had. So that's where Anthony Hobbs hangs his deer to do field dressing and whatnot. And so he left his Bubba cup, and I
threw it way up into the middle of nowhere. So
at Pondemonium, I also did one. Here, let's see if I can find the video.
That's hilarious.
Oh, dude, it's freaking funny.
So you're just messing with them?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah,
all the time. So, but I've never been able to get Ed. Ever. Right. And I have tried. I have quit trying because I really like Ed, but not to say that I don't like.
You don't want to bully him.
No,
right?
No, I don't want to bully. But Greg, game on.
Right.
Oh yeah, we hide his Bubba every single chance we get, and he's just. There's a video on TikTok. If you guys go on my TikTok and search through my videos, there is a video of him at Pondemonium. He left it on a table where everybody was kind of around, and in the background there's this huge water fountain, waterfall thing that we did a couple years prior, and I took it and I hit it on top of the fountain water feature that we did. And like you in the video, you see him walking by and he walks over to the table. He's like,
"Where's the Bubba at?"
"I left my Bubba here." Like he's got his hand in his pocket, he's walking around, and like he's going over to his vice president, the vice president of the company, and not Ed, but somebody else, and Colleen, she's the president of the company. He's like, "Hey, I left. Have you guys seen my Bubba? What's going on?" And like one of my buddies, Damien, is just sitting back in the chair. He's just like filming the whole thing as it's going, even to the point where he actually found it. And
that's awesome.
But like I hit it, and me and Cody Gilstrap, we just went to dinner.
Yeah.
So like we weren't even
be there to like break the thing, right? Oh, that's great.
But yeah, it's there's definitely a camaraderie and you punk, you. Yeah. He's an older guy. I think he's in his early 50s now, but yeah, he's definitely.
That's fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely the young whippersnapper and
giving him a little hard time. The prankster.
Oh
right?
yeah, 100%.
That's wild. So as you start taking over this business, 2015, 2016, you start pushing the social media, and are you seeing like substantial gains?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. When we first started, like the first year that I actually kept track of what we were doing business wise, today I would have to say we're about 10 times more.
Wow.
And like I said, our social media sold $3 million in work in the past 5 years.
Wow.
So that's huge.
Yeah.
And before that 5 years, I would probably say maybe 200,000.
Okay.
Before that point,
Yeah.
You know, there was definitely a point to where it took off.
Yeah.
You know,
Started seeing results.
Exactly. I don't have a lot of subscribers. I don't know why I don't have a lot of subscribers on YouTube, but like,
go and subscribe right now.
But the thing is I got 100,000 views in 28 days.
Yeah.
Like, people are watching my stuff.
Right.
You know.
Right. That's the way different.
Right. Emails are blowing up, especially right now because we're just about to start up the season, like actually getting people's ponds cleaned and ready for the season and getting them started up and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, I was in the office yesterday. I had a couple meetings early in the morning, and I got back into the office. I had like 5 emails for requests to work.
Wow.
Just, hey, I got a water feature, saw your name, saw your social media, saw your, you know, whatever.
See what you're doing.
See what you're doing. Hey, I want you to come out and either fix my stuff because somebody else, scammy guy,
right,
did scam me, right, and I need it fixed. Or, hey, this pond's like 25 years old. Yeah. You know, and I need it rebuilt and stuff like that.
Yeah, update on it.
So so as far as that, like getting past the whole Sherry and my dad thing, really allowed me to kind of
blossom.
Yeah, that's kind of blossom is.
It's the word.
Manly as that sounds right there. But yeah, it allowed me to actually grow into myself and actually, you know, now I had nothing holding me back. And now I know what I'm doing. I know number one, I know what I'm doing as far as building ponds.
Right. You have the experience.
Kind of I have the experience.
Yeah.
I know where I'm going and I'm going.
Yeah.
And it just allowed me to create avenues off of that. And I'm also ADD as crap.
Yeah.
So it's like squirrel. Oh, marketing company. Bow. Gone. Yeah. See ya. Yeah. Yeah. That sounds good. We'll do that. You know, or you know, the travel job. Squirrel. Okay, cool. Looks like I'm going to California to
do this.
Yeah, to do this. So just kind of being able to have your head on a swivel. You know, and seeing, I think one of the biggest things that a lot of business owners do is they get set in their ways. They get tunnel vision, so to speak, and they just put their head down and then just go forward. And, you know, if you actually look up, you'll see all of these different opportunities around you. And you know, I understand that a lot of it is, you know, resources and, you know, all that kind of stuff, you know. Yeah. You know, banks failing nowadays. Capital starting, you know, lendable capital starting to dry up and stuff like that. But, you know, I've always been a huge, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a Dave Ramsey fan, you know, and I live the Dave Ramsey life because 100%.
Well, you said you had a $20,000 credit card.
Exactly.
Right there, you're out.
Right freaking there.
Dave
so,
Ramsey's,
but I definitely understand his logic.
Philosophy.
I'm not going to say his philosophy because there are a lot of things in his philosophy. It's like, bro, I'm not going to sit here and eat rice for 3 years so I can go debt free. Like, I am not doing that. Like, I live to eat, not eat to live. Like, if you don't just get 280, exactly, I will die. But you know, I can definitely see his logic. Like,
having no debt makes sense.
Right.
100%.
Yes. Yeah. And one of the things that
you up so much.
Right. Well, and one of the things I like to do is I like to get my businesses back to cash, to being a cash business as fast as humanly possible. Yeah. You know, and that's one of the reasons why I don't make $300,000, $500,000 a year, even though I own the company and we're making the profits that I could do that stuff. I'm not going to, because it needs to go back into the business so the business can grow. Right. Because at some point, so one of the downfalls, if we want to get into the downfalls of being the Hoosier Pond Guy and having that moniker and being that, fame is a sarcophagus in some aspects. Because anytime I sell a job, guess who they're expecting to do the job? You. 100%. So my best attribute also becomes my biggest hurdle. Yeah. Of, well, I thought you were doing the job. Well, you can't afford for me to do the job. Well, but that's not. But that's not what your YouTube says. Yeah. Well, my YouTube doesn't say that. First off. Right. But yeah. But there's that. There's that expectation that you're Krys Yacks, you're the Hoosier Pond Guy, and I almost. It's gotten to the point to where, if I wanted to, I could replace the Aquascapes of Michiana part. It could just be Krys Yacks, the Hoosier Pond Guy, kind of like Greg Whitstock, the Pond Guy, on social media. Right. I could.
That's the brand.
Yeah, that logo that you're wearing on your chest is synonymous with
Hoosier Pond Guy.
With the Hoosier Pond Guy, and that's when they think the Hoosier Pond Guy, they think Aquascapes of Michiana. When they think Aquascapes of Michiana, they think of the Hoosier Pond Guy.
Right.
So that's another thing, and I've kind of spun it a little bit into an opportunity as well, because now I can actually set 2 different level of pricing.
Oh, nice.
So do
economy or premium,
right?
Basically,
exactly.
Right? Yeah, I'm seeing.
And I actually had an example of that last year. That older couple, and they were one of those couples that they didn't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But when I went over to their house, you know how you have those people, they don't make a lot of money, but they don't take care of their stuff. But then you also have those other people that have a lot of money, but everything they own is pristine.
Yes.
That was who they were.
Okay.
They didn't make a lot of money,
but they had good
but
stuff.
everything was pristine. Everything was well taken care of. Their house, their vehicles, their yard, everything.
Yeah.
Everything was meticulous. Everything was well taken care of. They were people that I knew I could leave a water feature in their hands, and they were going to take care of it. And they didn't know me. They Googled us.
Right.
You know, it was just a Google search. They're older.
Right.
They're in their, I think,
They're
late 50s, early 60s. Yeah, they're not YouTubers.
Right.
They're not, they don't do that and all that kind of stuff. So whenever I'm doing a consultation, I charge for my consultations. I charge $500 for me to come out to your property and take a look at it and talk to you about it.
Yeah.
And give you a quote, because my time's not free, number one. Number two, it also is a pre-qualifier for people who are just trying to window shop.
Yes.
To see who does it the cheapest.
Right.
I don't.
Right.
I do not do it the cheapest.
There's 1,000 scammers.
There are 1,000 landscape scammers.
Yeah. Out there.
Scammers out there that run landscapes companies that just think, oh, okay, dig a hole, put some liner in it, wheelbarrow the rock in, don't stack it, just whatever, add some water and throw a little spitting fountain in there. Cool, you're done.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Like, there are plenty of people that I am quality.
Right.
In construction, there are 3 aspects. There's quality, there's time, and there's money. Mm-hmm. You only get to pick 2. My business model picked it for you. Quality,
right,
and time.
Right.
Oops, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Quality and time. So that leaves the money part. So
right.
It's going to cost more.
Right.
And that's what it is. That is my business model.
Right.
So if you want cheap, do not call me.
Right.
But also, people don't understand that. So I also charge a $500 consultation fee.
That weeds it out.
It weeds everybody out. So the people who are serious, people who I say that to and are like, bet.
Then you're like,
not a problem.
Okay.
Let's schedule this. I really want to talk about it. Those are people that are actually serious about their project. They're actually serious about what we're doing.
Right.
And, if I go out, and here's the other thing I always tell everybody is during that consultation, if you pay me $500, I get you a quote and you're like, bet, say less, let's do it. Let's get in your schedule. We do the contracts, sign the contracts. I take $500 off the top.
That's nice. So it goes back into the project.
It goes right back into the project.
Yeah.
So it becomes, if I end up doing work, if I end up doing work for them, it becomes a free consultation.
Yes.
It is 100% to not waste my time.
Yeah.
If you're getting 50 different bids and you're going to pick whoever's cheapest, at least I got $500 went towards me talking to you for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Telling you all about all of this, because like I said, niche market, people don't know a lot about this.
Sharing knowledge.
And then going back, oh my God, that's huge thing that happens.
Yeah.
So many people are just there to pick my brain.
Really?
Oh yeah, 100%. And they're shameless about it. 100%. They're just asking question after question after question. And by a certain point, you're just like, okay, you're just
trying to figure out how you can do it.
You're just trying to figure out how you can do this yourself.
Yeah.
And I'll look at people and I'm like, you do realize I put together DIY projects, right?
Yeah.
They're like, what are you talking about? Like, I'll actually do all of the calculations. I'll figure up how many boulders you need. I'll figure up all of the materials.
I'll give it to you.
And you can buy them from me. I'll deliver them to your house. So you have everything. Literally the only thing you're missing is the labor, which is you.
Wow.
And like, we'll do that.
Yeah.
But
why not? Yeah. That
right.
makes sense.
It's just another way.
Right.
But like I said, I digress after about 30 minutes, but talking to these people, come to find out that me building the water feature, the way I would build it, the grandioso way, just wasn't in their budget. but I had two guys at the time that could handle this project.
Right.
And that's what I did. And I just looked at him. I'm totally honest, totally transparent. I was like, look, you can't afford for me to do this project. Right. I was like, but here's the thing. I got two guys that can do the project. Aquascapes of Michiana is still going to do your work.
It's just not.
You're still going to get the 1 year craftsmanship warranty. You're still going to get all the right product. It's going to be built correctly.
I'll have some direction.
Exactly.
Right, but it's not going to be me 100%.
I'm not going to be here actually stacking the boulders and all the stuff. My guys are going to do it.
Right.
And they did a great job.
Yeah.
And that'll be one of the YouTube videos that'll be coming out this year. I'm about a year behind.
Okay.
So,
so much content.
So much content.
What goes into that? Like, okay, we're going. I love this. I love this so much.
Squirrel.
I know, and we're gonna have to do like another podcast, and another podcast, and another podcast. It's great, but like, what goes into? Just like the content creation. I mean, you have two GoPros. You got all the stuff in there. What's the thought process behind? You go to the job site, are you filming everything, or what are you doing?
So Daniel and I at Atlas, we've actually developed what's called the 5x5 method.
Okay.
So it's 5 minutes of talking points.
Okay.
So like I have another camera that's just for me talking in front of the camera, that Osmo Pocket that I showed you.
Yes, the gimbal.
You love that thing.
That thing's sick.
So that's 5 minutes.
Okay.
Of me talking per video.
Yeah.
So for one vlog,
here's the high level. Here's the things we're doing. Here's the things we're going to figure out.
We'll storyboard beforehand. Like, okay, part 1's going to include this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Part 2 is going to include this, this, and this. Part 3, if we get that far, is going to include this, this, and this. Yeah. And what we're doing is we're following what's called a 5x5 method. So 5 minutes of talking points. So me in front of the camera talking about the project, explaining things. 5 minutes of time lapse. Okay. So just setting up the GoPros and just setting them up on time lapse, so that way it looks like my guys are working, really, 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 really fast.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
It's like B-roll.
Right. B-roll. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, B-roll is what I consider the funny stuff.
Okay.
So time lapse is a different thing. So 5 minutes of B-roll.
Okay.
So if one of my guys slip and fall into while they're trying to put the liner in, and that's on film, that's B-roll. We'll put that in because that's always a great thing. I think one of my videos, I actually fall. I'm trying to get out, and like I've got stuff. I'm filming my talking point. I'm like trying to get up and out of this pond, and like I didn't lift my foot up, and like you see the whole thing. Woo, timber. Oh yeah, so that's B-roll. I'll walk around every once in a while when the guys are doing something, and I'll film
what they're
them.
doing.
That's B-roll. Yeah. So 5 minutes of talking points, 5 minutes of time lapse,
5 minutes of B-roll,
5 minutes of B-roll, 5 minutes of drone.
Oh,
so we'll incorporate drone in our stuff too. So like a before. We'll do a flyover before to kind of show you what it looks like, flyover after, or we'll do like a flyover, for each, if we're doing part 1, part 2, part 3, we'll do, a flyover for that part. And then 5 minutes of reveal.
Oh, okay.
So we'll actually show up after everything's done, because
walk through all that makes sense. Right. People want to see
you want to see, everybody wants to see, wants to see the progression.
Yeah. Instant gratification.
Right.
I'm not doing the work, but I want to see what happens.
I want to see what happens. I want to see how you do this work, because I don't believe you.
Yeah.
So
and I want to see
that's
the finished product. So then I'm like,
So if I can get 5 minutes in those 5 different categories,
that makes sense.
What that does is because one of the biggest things in video editing, and any editors out there that are listening to this, I'm sure they're going to understand exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is sifting through content. You don't just film content for content's sake. Right. I used to do that.
Right.
To where I would set up a GoPro and put this huge DeWalt battery on it that could go for 3 days straight and just film absolutely everything. The amount of time it takes an editor to actually sift through all that. Yeah. They've got to watch every single second of everything that you do to try.
They're spending 8 hours.
They're spending 12, 15. I've had Daniel on one of our clients sent us in stuff, and I think he said he spent 3 days. Just because none of it was organized, none of it was labeled. Right. All of his date codes were wrong. So like the date and time that you have to set up on your GoPros, that actually helps with us being able to categorize stuff. Right. Yeah. So none of that was set up. Gosh. And like he sent us like 90 gigabytes.
Oh my God.
I mean, just
hours and
hours.
Yeah.
And Daniel said, he's like, yeah, I spent 3 days
just
sifting through it, seeing what was usable, what was not, organizing it, relabeling it, all that stuff, just to put together a 5-minute video for YouTube.
Wow.
So yeah, so
that's not
no. So, but following the 5x5 method, Daniel can get a whole video done in half a day.
Wow. Yeah.
He can actually, and if it's done and
it's going to go like this and
exactly
like that. And
right. Yeah, and that's one of the things that we tell our clients is look, follow the 5x5 method and send us the 5x5 method. That actually allows us to give people a flat rate.
No, that's
so right now for any YouTube video that follows the 5x5 method and you're just sending us in the content, we charge $500.
Oh, nice.
$500.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you figured out this is my time, this is the amount, this is perfect.
Right.
I can put something together for
exactly. Yeah. Because because
you simplified the process.
But when you're thinking about it like that, when you think, okay, I need 5 minutes to talking
you got
points,
the plan.
You got it kind of in your head already. Like, it's not just filming content for content's sake anymore, and you'll just figure it out because that's not ever how it works. But
having that blueprint is
exactly
huge.
Right. So one of my favorite TikTokers, YouTubers, Brian Barczyk.
Okay.
He's up in Detroit. My buddy Jeff at Pondering Waters, that's one of his clients.
Oh wow. Okay.
And in 2016, I built a water feature for his 3-legged alligator and his personal pond at his house. But he's a huge dude. Seriously, look him up on.
What's his name?
Brian Barczyk. Oh, it's spelled
with a ZK.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's a huge.
Oh, wow. 4 million subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge.
Wow.
Huge YouTuber, TikToker, all that kind of stuff. But
interesting. He's got like reptiles and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's his thing. He's a breeder.
Oh wow.
He's a reptile breeder and has a YouTube channel with it and all that kind of stuff. So he owns a thing called the Reptarium that you can actually go to, and like he's just got all kinds of stuff. I went there a couple times, but we actually built a water feature, a habitat enclosure for.
I was like, that's not me.
I was wondering if that was Brian Barczyk calling me.
Is that a scream?
Yes.
Is that your phone?
It's the screaming goats from Thor 4.
No way. Yeah. That's awesome.
So yeah, we built a habitat enclosure for RJ, his three-legged alligator.
Okay.
And he's actually where he was. Greg was the inspiration. He was the technical guy.
Wow.
That inspired me to get into social media and all that kind of stuff. And
you saw the vision.
Oh, I did. But like I didn't know how to do it.
Right.
But by doing that project, like that was one of the things that he talked about is actually doing YouTube and yeah, like
did he
developing
film,
the 5x5 method and all that stuff.
Did he film something there while you were doing it, or was it you was just picking his brain?
No, it would be. I don't think he filmed anything of us picking his brain. We definitely picked his brain.
Yeah. It wasn't like
I believe there's actually a YouTube video out there of us building. It would be like this was before I was filming content.
2015.
Yeah. So this was before I was actually filming, but I believe that there is a YouTube video out there on Aquascape Inc.'s channel.
Very cool.
That's out there.
But it was he's got 4 million subscribers. You get to pick his brain.
Oh yeah.
And how you do it. That's awesome.
Well, and that was one of the things is like he goes, everything's in 1 minute.
Yeah.
He goes, whenever I'm thinking about what to say or I'm thinking about what I need to talk about, that's always in my mind.
1 minute.
It needs to be 1 minute. And that's why on his videos, he talks really, really fast.
Oh, just,
hey guys, what's going on? It's Brian Barczyk.
Right,
because he's trying to fit as much in as he can in that 1 minute.
Wow.
Which that style, and we went back in 2021 to revisit him, and he's saying the same thing. He's doing it the same way.
Yeah.
But talking to him and picking his brain helped me and Daniel develop the 5x5 method.
Makes sense.
And that's why it's 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes.
It gives you a template.
It gives everybody a template.
Yeah.
Because we're contractors.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, we are pond builders. We're contractors.
Right.
We say the F word like it's an adjective,
right.
And we get tunnel visioned and we forget stuff. But if you can get that ingrained in your head,
you're in a
like
good spot.
that, yeah, you're in a really good spot.
Yeah. Fascinating.
They used to say the same thing. Aquascape's team used to say the same thing about Ed the pond professor.
Okay.
Lisa McGinnis used to say that Ed will talk for 20 hours straight and not miss a beat.
Yeah, it just goes.
Which is terrible for YouTube, terrible for content. So he really
be good for podcasting.
Oh my goodness!
Right?
I think it was actually on a podcast. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, I think it was on. He's getting into some podcasts.
Yeah, that would be his medium.
But dude, she was like, he really had to focus and get his talking down to a reasonable level,
Right.
and now he's doing it
as opposed to
it's
20 hours.
Yeah, it's definitely a skill.
Yeah,
that is something that has to be developed. Not everybody can just be a ham. Like I ramble on all the time, as you can tell.
It's beautiful,
but
it's a beautiful thing. I'll tell you that.
Beautiful thing.
I got 1,000 questions. Let's see here. Where are we at? What time wise? We're grooving, bro. Okay, all right. Let's end on this question, if that's cool.
Cool.
So, what has been the? It's a multifaceted question.
All right.
So it's like 6 questions.
Okay, gotcha.
What has been the most famous person you've built a pond for, and what has been the coolest pond or aquascape that you've built? How's that for a question? You can answer them any way you want to.
Crap. Hold on. Well, it's because I'm terrible at actors' names.
Oh, yeah. So,
and we haven't built it yet.
Okay.
We're going to be building it this year.
that's already way cool.
What's his name? He's from Entourage.
Okay.
So, did you watch Entourage?
I have watched like 1 or 2 episodes.
Okay, so do you know the pretty one?
Yeah, pretty.
Not he was the actor in the show.
Yeah.
Dang it, what's his name?
Oh yeah, let's pull it up. Pull up Entourage real quick.
It's got.
That's so cool.
Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Here it is. What's his name? It's in here. I have the post right here. Come on, Ed, you're failing me here.
It's okay.
Oh, Adrian Grenier.
Okay.
Adrian Grenier. He was in Entourage.
Okay. That's so cool. I'm pulling.
So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Adrian.
What else has he been in? I'm pulling him up. I'm pulling up his IMDb right now.
So
Entourage, Devil Wears Prada, Drive Me Crazy.
So he's developing. So which is kind of great because me and my wife actually we have a hobby farm.
Okay.
So we grow our own food. We got like 50 chickens. We grow a couple pigs every year and butcher them up, and we've got cows. We actually have one of the only mini cattle herds.
No
in the area.
way.
Yeah. So.
Okay, that's so cool. Did you do it because
my wife?
Okay,
Allison. That is 100% Allison.
Yeah, that's my wife's name's Allison too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's That's weird.
She's way into farming as well.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
But yeah, so we've got 3 cows.
Yeah. I love that so much.
We got 2 heifer Dexters, mini breeds. We got 1 Hereford bull.
Are they milking or are they?
Oh yeah, we get a half a gallon a day out of lady.
That's beautiful.
So 1 heifer's lady, the other one's Rosie. They're both Dexters.
I heard that mini cows are nice because you don't have to have them on such big acreage.
No,
because they can eat.
Yep. Because we only have 5
less.
acres.
Yeah.
And I think I only have like two fenced in.
Yeah.
So 1 acre goes to Pot Roast. That's our bull's name is Pot Roast.
That's awesome.
So we decided to keep Pot Roast because Pot Roast is one of those, he's such a good bull.
Yeah.
He is not aggressive. I can almost ride him.
No way.
Oh yeah. So like every day I'll be feeding him and I'll be like brushing him, and I'll be like, hey, buddy, what's going on? And I'll just kind of get up there and just kind of try to throw my leg over. But by the time he feels my leg go on him, he's like, hey, what are you doing? Yeah. Come on, bro. But he's such a cool bull. And the thing is with mini herds is you can't AI them without different equipment than you do with normal cattle.
Okay.
So and mini herds are a southern thing. They're not up here.
Right.
So you have to do it the natural.
Gotcha.
The natural way.
So they have to have a bull.
Yes, you have to have a bull.
Okay.
And
I'm
we have one of the only bulls
in this area.
No way.
So, and pot roast can be studded out to about 15 heifers a year.
No way.
So that's kind of what we're doing with the other 3 acres that we own. Is we're setting it up. We're pasturing in some of it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to set up pot roast, palace.
Yeah.
And then we're in the middle. We're going to set up some breeding pens.
Oh, cool.
Because I can either take him to them, or they can bring their heifers to me.
Which makes more sense.
Which, yeah, I think bringing the heifers to us is a little bit easier.
It's a
Home advantage.
Yeah, home advantage.
Right. He's more comfortable in his space
exactly.
and all that kind of stuff. So, so he can sire up to 15 heifers at $500 a pop.
Yeah,
and that pretty much pays for all the food and the feed, and it's self-sufficient.
Right. Well, it's the mini cows. I've heard that multiple times from people around here. Mm-hmm. So when you said that, I'm like, I'm tracking exactly. Yeah. And for a smaller household, 3 kids, you only need a half gallon of milk a day, and that's probably way too much.
Right.
Already. Mm-hmm. That's
my kids love it.
Oh yeah.
Man, it is never, especially if there's cereal in the house and fresh milk. Oh, done.
No, it's
done.
It's not milk and cereal. It's ice cream and cereal.
Right.
Is what it is. It's so good, dude.
Yeah.
We've been getting some good milk recently.
You've been going to Crystal Valley.
Game changed. Crystal Valley is awesome. I found a plug that's even cheaper and rawer than that. So it's been good.
Oh yeah.
I got a good connection.
So, but that's it. We don't do this on, Allison we sell our excess eggs.
Yeah.
And we have 50 chickens.
Oh yeah.
They lay freaking 3 dozen eggs a day.
Make it $20 a pop per person,
$2.
right? Yeah.
No, we charge $2.
That's so cheap.
That's it.
Dude, it's $2. I was at Aldi, $6 a carton. I'm like,
we're not doing it, but that's the thing. Just kind of like with Aquascapes and with Atlas, I'm not in this to make
the profits.
Yeah. Like it's when we first started selling it, $2 a dozen was the market value, and it's gone up to $9 a dozen. Now we're at it. It's like, look, people who can't afford $6 a dozen and stuff like that, at least there's an option. Hey,
and they need to go local.
Yeah.
It's so much better if you go local.
Right.
I'm 100% in that vein.
So that's what it is. It's for us. It's for our family. And also within Atlas and Aquascapes, I don't give out monetary bonuses because you have to pay taxes on those bonuses.
Oh, interesting.
We don't like to pay tax. Nobody wants to pay taxes.
Yeah.
So what we do is we raise a hog, and I've got 4 employees, 2 with Aquascapes, 2 with Atlas, and a quarter of the hog goes to each. Because what do? Most people
use that money to buy food.
They buy food.
Why not?
So if it can't,
freaking ribs.
So here's the thing: I can give you a $500 bonus, and you're gonna pay 35% in tax because it's a bonus. I have to label it as a bonus.
Right.
Or I can give you $750 in pig.
Yeah, what
do you want?
All day long.
What do you want?
Pig.
You want 500? You want bacon?
Yeah.
Or do you want $500?
Pig.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and with snowplow and stuff like that. So my 2 guys through Aquascapes, they now do. I don't snowplow anymore. They do the snowplowing. And snowplow is great and all, but once again, it doesn't.
Yeah.
You can't run a
Predicted
snowplow.
Yeah.
And expect to supplement your salary that you were making during the season. You can't. So that's what we do. If I can't give you a monetary bonus,
here's some food.
I'm going to give you food security.
That's cool.
But that's what it comes down to.
That's such a cool thing.
Right. Because in Maslow's hierarchy, I don't know if do you know about Maslow's hierarchy?
No, I don't.
There's a hierarchy. It's a pyramid. It's called Maslow's hierarchy. And at the bottom is your basic security. So water, food, shelter.
Right.
Then you move up to the next one, which is basic amenities, things like that. Then after that's hobbies. And so where you fit on that
pyramid.
On that pyramid. So during the winter, when you don't have a job, you're not making money, there's no snow on the ground.
Right. You move
all the way to that bottom. You move into that bottom period. You need food, shelter, and water.
Right.
So I help with part of that. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And there's no taxes. There's no nothing. And most people are really appreciative.
10 times better than what you can buy at the store.
Heck yeah.
100%.
100%.
Yeah. It's probably way better.
Bro.
The fact this is the world that I've been diving into, but the food you buy from the store is from who knows where on the other side of the world. And then how long it takes.
Right.
They butcher it, and then they freeze it, and then unthaws, and they freeze.
Right.
You could be 2 or 3 month old meat
Right.
by the time you're eating
it
it.
gets to you.
Right. And it's different than
Yeah.
it's the same, you freeze it, but at least it came.
Right.
Butchered it, frozen.
Right. Well,
It's right
and the
here.
other thing is me and Allison, we did the financial study behind it. How much did it actually cost us to raise 2 pigs? It cost us $506.
Really?
That includes butchering.
Wow. That's probably $1 per pound or whatever. Right?
Yeah,
Or
something like that. But to purchase the piglets,
Right.
to feed them, and to butcher them,
Right.
$506.
Oh my word.
Well, that was $506 a piece, so $1,012 total.
Yeah.
And we kept one whole hog for ourselves to fill our freezers,
Right. And then quartered it up.
and then quartered it up for the employees.
Right.
But we also went retail and figured up all of the cuts.
Right.
$750
per person.
per person.
Wow. You're getting ribs, you're getting bacon.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting
Tons of
sausage.
Oh yeah, each employee
butt
got
roast.
like 10 pounds of sausage, 8 pounds of bacon,
Yeah.
baby back ribs.
Oh, yeah.
The
good stuff.
Oh yeah, the good stuff, hams.
Yeah.
All of that kind of stuff. So
I love that.
so yeah, it's our way to show our appreciation without the burden of tax.
Right. That's such a cool way.
Nobody wants to pay taxes.
No. Coolest.
Coolest project.
Yeah. And then we'll wrap it up. It's tough, huh? It's tough.
Well, it's because I've done
1,000 projects.
No. All right. So I've done some projects and some relationships have ended, so I'm not going to include those. We did a project out in Kirksville, Missouri.
Okay.
And it was this guy. So on my YouTube channel, we're on a series for the Wisconsin Dells. I went out to the Wisconsin Dells and I did a pondless waterfall for a resort out there.
Okay.
And I met this guy while I was doing that project. And he goes, "Hey, I actually want to put in my own water feature back at my house in Missouri." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, awesome. Let's go to dinner. Let's talk about it." And we go to dinner, him and his wife, and start talking about it. My buddy Damien was with me at the dinner.
One of the four.
One of the four.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't end up going on that one. If you kind of see a pattern, Damien's kind of the one that flakes out on us all the time.
Yeah.
But so everything went great. Pricing went through, contracts, subcontracts, all that kind of stuff went through, got everything signed. We went out to do this project. He provided every single boulder in this project.
No way.
And I swear to God, it's the best work I have ever done. Let me,
Take a pic.
I have video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I've made so many TikToks off of this project. But let's see. Yeah, that's one of them.
Oh, wow.
That's just one of the TikToks. If you got to press it again.
Wow.
But yeah,
Just the boulder and
the boulders. He provided all of the stone. It came off of his property when they were building the house.
Wow.
It's all that old weathered limestone, mossy
cool.
rock. Dude, it was freaking awesome.
That's cool.
But we built in the pond.
That's that natural vibe, too.
Dude,
That comes right from his property, right into the pond. That's cool.
let's see if I can find it real quick. I can find the actual other pictures.
That's so cool.
Yeah, here we go. There it is. That's one of the photos if you guys
Oh,
can.
that's gorgeous.
That's one of the pictures. But
Yeah.
that's it.
That's so cool.
That's what we made out of it.
Wow. That's
That's
not
the
pond,
main
bro.
water coming out of the water.
That feels natural.
Yeah,
That
that's just the
feels
main
so
waterfall
natural.
coming out of the wetland. That's not even the pond.
Wow.
And we made a 17 by 35 pond for him too, and that's just one of the waterfalls.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but all of that rock came off the property.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It feels like it was set there before. Like you didn't even put it there. It felt like
Right.
that's just natural.
Yeah, that's part of it, dude. So that would be probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Just because like a lot of these things, with Adrian and Logan Paul and all that kind of stuff, they're not my projects.
Right.
Aquascape Inc. puts all these together and
Pulls
they
you
hold
in.
events. Yeah, they hold events and they pull me in for it because they want the best of the best to be there.
Right.
And they do it to, train new upcomers.
Yeah.
It's events for new upcoming pond builders to get
Yeah.
involved and to
get some
try their
chops and
hand.
figure it out. It's the
exactly.
sandbox.
It's a sandbox.
Yeah.
And we're doing it for a big name. So it's going to draw some attention. So yeah. So like the
And then
Adrian
you
build
can
stuff
go
like that.
into a client and like, oh yeah, I worked on a project with Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Right? That gives you way
Right.
credibility.
I didn't get to work with Logan Paul. That was the one project that I really kicked myself in the butt for. I was in California when they did the project
No
for Logan
way.
Paul. I was doing a different project with somebody else, but
Yeah.
I know.
I know.
I was like,
That's cool, though.
I wish I would have met him.
Yeah. That would have been cool. Pick his brain.
No, I know, and that was pre-Japan too. So that was
Before he got canceled.
That was before the whole cancel thing happened too. So
That's wild.
right. Dr. Pol, you know who Dr. Pol is?
Yeah.
The veterinarian.
Yeah, from Michigan.
So Jeff Michaels from Pondering Waters. This was this was like 2008.
Yeah.
Jeff Michaels from Pondering Waters. He did his pond
No way.
up there.
Oh,
So
his
and then
property. That's
Yeah.
such a cool. Yeah.
Right.
They use that for like
Oh, yeah.
B-roll all the time.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Little A-frame out in the middle of.
oh
who
yeah.
knows what.
Yeah. That's just cool dude. From what he tells me and stuff like that. I wasn't involved in Shaq's pond. Oh man, I so wanted to be. I know.
That was cool. Well, he'll need a new pond in the future.
Yeah, right, exactly. He's got like 11 houses or something
Yeah.
like that. We'll just talk him into another one. So we did one for Richard Petty, at one of those events and stuff like that. So, some really cool projects. But that one would be my favorite. Most famous would be Adrian and Brian Barczyk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. Very cool, man. Well, let's wrap it up. I have got to pee.
Oh my
I
God.
have to as well. Where can people find you?
Everywhere.
Okay.
YouTube. Oh, hold on. Let me bring up.
I'll tell you what.
I have a list.
I'm going to scan this later. I'm going to put all this in the show notes so everyone will know. Everyone will know where to find you. Just look in the show notes. I'll have all the links there. You should be good. But yeah, you're on TikTok. You're on YouTube. You're on Facebook. You're on.
All right. The website is aquascapesmichiana.com. We're on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Twitter. Email is info@aquascapesofmichiana.com. And our phone number is 574-361-7745. Hit us up. Give us a like. Give us a follow. But yeah, that's a Logan Paul pond right there.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's Japanese. It's got feng shui for sure.
Right.
Love it.
So
hit Krys up. Contact them.
if you guys are in the local area and you guys actually want to see a living example of my work, please go to the Potawatomi Zoo over in South Bend.
Yeah.
And it is the water feature that is in the giraffe exhibit. We are going to be planning the new lion
Oh, snap.
water feature this year and the North American black bear for 2025.
No way.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm rebuilding that whole zoo, dude.
Dude, I love that.
I am the Potawatomi Zoo's water feature builder.
No way.
So yeah.
Dude, that's so cool.
I know, right?
love to hear
Got some exciting things coming up,
Yeah.
and the bigger we
You're
get,
busy.
dude,
You're so busy.
and it's all me.
Yeah.
It's just, jeez. Sometimes I wish,
Yeah.
I really wish I could
clone
find
yourself.
somebody else to just handle part of it. So,
Yeah.
but we'll get there.
Yeah. I love that. Krys, dude, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. We'll have you on again.
Bro,
Yeah.
I need to
this
come
was
back
fun.
and do this again. So this was fun.
This is good.
All right. Well, I'll check you guys out. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
Peace.
See ya.
All right. Bye.